Counterpoint, the general knowledge music quiz chaired by Paul Gambaccini.
Hello! The race for the Counterpoint title hots up as we enter the semi-final stage of this year's tournament here at the Radio Theatre in London. Over the next 3 contests, the heat winners from this series will play off for the 3 places in the final. Could one of today's trio be destined to lift the 38th Counterpoint trophy? Let's meet them again.
Hello, I'm Gareth Aubrey from Beddau in South Wales. The last gig I attended was Pulp at the Arena in Cardiff.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Brick from Watford in Hertfordshire, and 2 nights ago I went to see Iris Dement at the Union Chapel in Islington.
Hello, I'm Antony Cruddas from Gosport in Hampshire, and a concert I enjoyed recently was the Northern Soul Revival show, Do I Love You?
Welcome back, all 3 of you. You all know how the game goes. In the opening round, I ask you questions in turn for 2 points apiece. If you can't get the right answer, it will pass to the other 2 to see if they can win a bonus point. In his rendition of the love story theme, Andy Williams asked, "Where do I begin?" Well, it's with the first question, and it's for you, Gareth Aubrey. Since 2009, the BBC World Service podcast Witness History has recounted significant moments brought to life by archive and eyewitness accounts. Their eclectic music collection available on BBC Sounds includes programs on the first Glastonbury Festival and Claire Nunes, the Queen of Samba. It also features a 1942 story about starving musicians who performed Shostakovich's 7th Symphony, broadcast by loudspeakers to the German forces in a show of resilience and defiance as they defended which city?
Stalingrad.
No. Can anyone else pick it up? And Jonathan says...
It was Leningrad.
Yes, it was. Bonus point. Here's another episode of Witness History for you, Jonathan Brick, recalling an event from December 11th, 1965. It was when a seminal alternative rock band played their first gig at a New Jersey high school. After you've heard from Rob Norris, who was in the audience that night, can you name them?
Shiny, shiny leather.
It caused a riot, People jumped up immediately and grabbed their kids, and all of us just were mesmerized immediately, just thought, this is something really special. We went right down to the front, just to see what the heck this was.
That's the Velvet Underground.
It is the Velvet Underground. Antony Cruddas. The past was preserved for the future in Belfast in January 2025, when a statue of an Irish rock and blues legend, known for his virtuosic guitar playing, was unveiled at Belfast's Ulster Hall. The musician and songwriter, who died in 1995, regularly performed at the Hall on Bedford Street throughout the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Who was that performer?
Rory Gallagher.
It was indeed. Gareth, a new recording of Saint-Saëns' Carnival of the Animals, was unveiled in November 2024 by the pianist Lang Lang. Here's the 13th movement of this whimsical menagerie. Which animal is represented here?
Is that the swan?
That is the swan. Jonathan, when Lang Lang won his Classic Brit Award in 2013, the event was hosted by British musician and presenter Mylene Klass. She was recognized in this year's New Year honors for services to women's health, miscarriage awareness, and to charity. She first found fame as one of the singers with the group Hearsay, who were assembled on which ITV reality show in 2000?
Pop stars.
That is right. Antony, here's some music from Mylene with a new piano arrangement of a popular classical piece composed in 1919. It's taken from her 2003 album, Moving On. Can you name the work?
Cello Concerto by Olga.
That is right. Gareth, in 2024, the final season of an award-winning BBC TV series by Rhys Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, featured an episode connected to the history of classical music. Set in Edwardian times, the chilling story finds a talented piano tuner drawn into an old superstition where a particular symphony is destined to be a composer's last. What's the title of that episode?
The Curse of the Ninth.
That's right. The series was Inside Number 9, which would have been too much of a clue. Jonathan Brick, we head inside classical now, the title of the BBC Four series, also available on the BBC iPlayer. Dvorak wrote his Ninth Symphony on a journey of musical discovery around America, taking inspiration from both native and African-American melodies. After you've heard the BBC Philharmonic perform the fourth movement, I'd like you to tell me the popular name for the symphony.
From the New World.
That's right. Antony Cruddas. Northern Soul was a music and dance movement prevalent in northern England and the Midlands in the early 1970s. It centered on a particular style of black American soul music, with DJs competing to find and showcase rare and deleted recordings. A logo closely associated with the genre, widely seen on posters at events and on compilation record covers, combines a circle representing a vinyl single with what symbol in the center borrowed from the Black Power movement of the 1960s?
It's the hand, gloved hand.
That's right, the clenched fist. Gareth, 2025 was the 60th anniversary of the release of one of the most revered of all Northern Soul records. Tainted Love was successfully covered in the 80s by Soft Cell, but here's the original version with session musician Glenn Campbell on lead guitar. Can you identify the singer?
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere.
Gloria Jones?
That's right. Jonathan Brick. Gloria Jones is often referred to as the Queen of Northern Soul. 20 years after the release of Tainted Love, the pop royalty artists King, Queen, Prince, and Princess all placed hits in the top 10 in 1985. Can you name any two of the hits that were part of this unique year in pop history?
Yeah, the two I know are Raspberry Beret and Love and Pride.
Well, you don't know everything you think you do, but you do know Love and Pride. And Antony says...
Prince, 1999?
Yes, that's right, for Prince. And all of those were King, Love and Pride, Queen, One Vision, Prince, the double A sides, Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, and Little Red Corvette, 1999, and Princess, Say I'm Your Number One. Antony Cruddas. Finally in this round, 2024 saw the final season of Yellowstone, the epic American TV drama series starring Kevin Costner as head of a ranching family in Montana. In one of the final scenes of the last episode, this next musical piece is featured. Composed and performed here by the American folk musician Jay Ungar, it originally served as a goodnight waltz at the annual Fiddle and Dance Camp events in New York, run by Unger and his wife, Molly Mason. Can you name the work?
Good night, ladies.
No, I'm sorry. And Jonathan says...
I'll guess Tennessee Waltz.
No, that's not it. Gareth, would you like to guess any song written in the 19th century? It was the Ashokan Farewell. And so, at the end of the first round, the scores are Gareth Aubrey with 6, Antony Cruddas with 7, and Jonathan Brick with 8. In round two, our competitors take their turns in the spotlight for individual questions on a musical category or theme from a list which I'm about to give them. This is the first time they've heard this list. They've had no chance to prepare. Today's choices are absolute madness, country music in the 21st century, classical Shakespeare, Motown at the movies and musicals, pop into nursery rhymes. You choose in the order of your scores at this point. So, Jonathan, you're in the lead. What would you like?
21st century country.
And for you, Antony?
Motown.
Now that leaves three for you, Gareth, and they are absolute madness, classical Shakespeare, and pop into nursery rhymes.
Let's go crazy and have absolute madness.
Remember, we don't open the questions for bonus points in this round. We're going to start with Gareth and your questions on absolute madness. Most of Madness's early singles were released on the Stiff Records label, except the first. In the autumn of 1979, their debut single, The Prince, was issued on which label founded by Jerry Dammers of the Specials?
Two-tone.
That's right. And I was honored because Suggs told me that I was the first person who had ever complimented him on making a good record when I told him that I liked The Prince. Madness were the most consistent hitmakers in the British charts of the early 80s, and by spring 1982, they had notched up enough hits to fill an impeccable compilation, Complete Madness. The song you're about to hear was released for the first time as part of that compilation. A question will follow. In the City started life as a jingle for a TV advertising campaign in Japan. For what product?
I'm going to say something random. Milk.
No, it was a car. The great majority of Madness's hits were original compositions, but which song that had been a hit for its writer Labi Siffre around 10 years earlier gave them one of their best remembered hits at Christmas time 1981?
It Must Be Love.
Yes. Madness moved away from their nutty boy image in the mid-'80s, making music in a more mature, jazz-influenced style. Can you tell me the title of this 1984 hit, which is also the name of a revered British film star?
And all I wanted was a word, a photograph to keep. And all I wanted was a word, a photograph to keep.
Michael Caine.
That is correct. Madness disbanded in 1986, with some members joining the band Voice of the Beehive, but a reformed version of the group, with Suggs at the helm, emerged a couple of years later. They issued a relatively unsuccessful album, including the songs I Pronounce You and What's That, under what slightly revised band name?
They were The Madness.
The Madness. In the year 2000, a reformed Madness hooked up with another great hitmaker of the post-punk era, a fellow Londoner, to release this song, Drip Fed Fred. When we've heard an extract, I'd like you to name the vocalist.
We want Freddie for our leader. Freddie is a man of class. We want Freddie for our leader. All stand and raise your champagne.
Ian Jury.
That's right. In the 21st century, Madness have come to enjoy the status of national treasures. But alongside the nostalgia, there have been some critically acclaimed new releases. Can you complete the title of the loose concept album they recorded in 2009, named after an ancient area of the City of London, the Liberty of...
Norton Folgate.
Yes, that's right. Reviewing it at the time, the Word magazine described it as Madness's masterpiece. And Gareth, in that round, you scored 12 points, added to your previous 6. You now have 18 points. Antony, it's time for us to visit Motown at the movies and musicals. In 1985, Stevie Wonder won an Oscar for Best Music Original Song for a track taken from the soundtrack of the movie The Woman in Red. The lyrics begin with the line, "No New Year's Day to celebrate." What's the title of the song?
I Just Called to Say I Love You.
Yes. Here, the Temptations perform a song that was written for the 1932 musical Gay Divorce, Fred Astaire's last Broadway show. After you've heard Night and Day, I'd like you to name the composer.
Night and day, you are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun.
Cole Porter.
That is right. The life and times of the Temptations are celebrated in a jukebox musical which came to London's West End in 2023. The show charts the rise of the Classic Five Temptations members as they deal with illness, vice, and political conflicts which jeopardize their future. Can you name the musical?
Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
I'll give you that, but it's actually called Ain't Too Proud. Let's hear Diana Ross and the Supremes with a show tune which originally featured in the 1937 Rodgers and Hart musical, Babes in Arms. 20 years later, Frank Sinatra revived it for a film in which he tries to entice a wealthy widow into financing his own nightclub. After you've heard The Lady is a Tramp, I'd like you to name that Sinatra film.
I get too hungry for dinner at 8. I like the theater, but never come late. I never bother with people I hate. That's why the lady is a tramp.
I don't know. I guess High Society.
I'm sorry, it's Pal Joey. It's the 25th anniversary of the Stephen Frears film High Fidelity, based on the book of the same name by Nick Hornby. The film stars John Cusack as a record store owner recounting his most painful breakups. At the end of the movie, Jack Black, in an early screen role, performs which Marvin Gaye song co-written with Ed Townsend, recently the subject of a copyright dispute with Ed Sheeran?
I don't know. Got to give it up.
No, it was Let's Get It On.
Oh, right.
Music from Marvin now. Hello, Broadway, a collection of standards and Broadway songs, was his fourth studio album released in 1964. Here he performs a show tune from a musical which premiered in 1956 at the Mark Hellinger Theater in New York City. Can you name the production?
I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stays beneath my feet before.
I'm afraid I can't.
It's My Fair Lady.
Oh, right.
And finally, who am I describing? Born in Detroit, Michigan, USA, she's an actress and singer, known for her roles in Nutty Professor 2 and The Clumps. Her number one song from 1970, Band of Gold, is featured in the 2019 horror film Annabelle Comes Home.
It's Free to Pay.
That is correct. And all that's left is to give you your score after that round. And Antony, in that round you scored 8, added to your previous 7. You now have 15 points. Jonathan, let's talk about country music in the 21st century. Taking its name from a variant of the card game poker in March 2024, which of the 27 tracks on Beyoncé's Grammy-winning country music-inspired album Cowboy Carter became the singer's longest-running chart topper on the UK official charts?
Texas Hold'em.
That's right. At 2024's Grammy Awards ceremony, in a performance hailed by Rolling Stone as one of the all-time best collaborative performances in Grammy history, Tracy Chapman performed a duet of her 1988 hit Fast Car with American country singer-songwriter whose own cover of Fast Car was named Song of the Year at the Country Music Awards in 2023. Let's hear his version of Fast Car, and then please tell me his name.
You got a fast car, and I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store, Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far, just to cross the border and into the city. And you and I can both get jobs, finally see what it means to be living.
That's Luke Combs.
It is. Luke Combs is one of several country music stars who guested on F1 Trillion, another 2024 Nashville-influenced hit album by an American artist not normally identified with the country music genre. Although best known as a rapper, not long after his 2015 breakthrough, he tweeted, "When I turn 30, I'm becoming a country folk singer." Who is this artist?
That's Austin Post Malone.
It is. Music now from a band who were pursued by controversy after their singer Natalie Maines told an audience in 2003 that they were ashamed to have George W. Bush as their president at the time of the invasion of Iraq. I was present at that concert in Shepherd's Bush. So was Bob Harris. Not Ready to Play Nice, the song you're about to hear, was released in 2006 as a response to the ongoing controversy. Have a listen and then please name the group.
I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. I'm still mad as hell and I don't have time to go round and round and round. It's too late to make it right. I probably wouldn't if I could, 'cause I'm mad as hell.
That's the band then known as the Dixie Chicks. They're now the Chicks.
That is correct. First staged in 2007, which annual music festival held at the Empire Polo Club in Indio, California, has rapidly become one of the world's major country music events and has played host to stars including Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood, and Garth Brooks.
That's Stagecoach.
That is right. Country music enjoyed something of a renaissance in the UK in 2024, with several songs in the genre finding mainstream success. This next song reached the top 10 after its Texas-born singer took to TikTok with what went on to become a viral dance. Have a listen and then tell me her name.
Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out? Where there's a will and there's a way, and I'm damn sure you lost it. Didn't even say goodbye, just wish I knew what cost it. Was the whiskey flowing? Were you enough?
Her name is Dasha.
That's right. And finally, in October 2024, the U.S. Department of State and the Recording Academy announced which country music icon, philanthropist, and 10-time Grammy Award winner as the recipient of that year's Peace Through Music Award.
Is it Her Royal Highness Dolly Parton?
It is indeed. And let's see how high you scored. Oh, yes. 14 points in that round added to your 8. You now have 22 points. And so, after the individual round, here are the scores. Lying third with 15 points is Antony Cruddas. In second place with 18 points is Gareth Aubrey. And our leader with just one round to go with 22 points is Jonathan Brick. It's on the button in the quick-fire final round. Things can change quickly. A correct answer wins you 1 point, but you lose a point if you flash in and fail to answer correctly. There are no bonuses. Fingers poised. Here we go. Out on the wily, windy moors. Antony.
Wuthering Heights.
Yes. In hit song titles, which word follows Fight, Earth, and Annie's? Jonathan.
Song.
Yes. Complete the English title of Debussy's musical composition for solo piano. The Girl with the Flaxen, Antony?
Hair.
Yes. Which patriotic song written by Julia Ward Howe, Antony?
The Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yes. Which British heavy rock group is depicted on the cover of one of their albums as a set of carved heads on Mount Rushmore? Antony?
Dick Purple.
Yes. In which Lauren Mazal opera, based on a classic novel, does a crowd sing its hate for enemies of Oceania before a photo of Big Brother? Gareth.
1984.
Yes. With original songs written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which 2024, Jonathan?
Oh, it's called Warriors.
No, it's Mufasa, the Lion King, -1. Which British rock band derived their name from an Angela Carter short story, part of her collection of modern fairy tales, The Bloody Chamber? It was Wolf Alice. Randy Crawford's first UK hit was as the uncredited vocalist Antony.
Street Life.
Yes, in which Wagner opera is a mysterious sailor cast ashore, Antony.
Blind Dutchman.
Yes. The Sibelius Museum is based in which, and Jonathan says...
Helsinki?
Correct. The musical instrument, the ocarina, takes its name, and Jonathan says...
Oh, it's a little shell.
Yes, but the answer is goose. That's not the question you were anticipating. Published in 2024, the graphic novel Purple Haze, and Jonathan says...
Jimi Hendrix.
And he gets the point back. Which 2007 opera written by Ricky Ian Gordon and Michael Corey is based on a John Steinbeck novel, Antony.
Mice and Men.
No, The Grapes of Wrath, -1. Which classic rock and roll song shares its title with a handmade textile named after a town, and Gareth says...
Chantilly lace.
Yes. Madonna's 1986 hit song, True Blue, is dedicated to which of her former husbands? Jonathan.
Sean Penn.
Yes. The Shadows, Donovan, and the Isley Brothers have all recorded tracks about which mythical island nation? Antony.
Atlantis.
Yes. Which American indie rock band take their name from Lebanon's capital city? Gareth.
Beirut.
Yes. In the 1970s, Queen named 2 of their albums after films. Antony.
Marx Brothers.
Yes. Finally, complete the lyric to the Rolling Stones' first UK #1. I used to love her, but Jonathan?
But it's all over now.
That is correct. And it is all over. All that remains is to reveal the final score. And in third with 21, Gareth Aubrey. In second with 22, Antony Cruddas. And the winner with 25 is Jonathan Brick. We'll see you again for the final in just a few weeks' time. The other 2 of you should be very proud of that close contest. Thank you for taking part. We'll be in Salford next time, where another trio will play off for a place in the final. Until then, goodbye.